If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which is what I'm doing right now. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Yes, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started now. Thank you. This is Van Electric Ghost, and we're doing our video podcast episode, this time on Twitch. And we're going to talk about the song we just wrote in our bedroom studio. It's called I'm Already Past Me. Now, the cool thing about this song is we used our Make Noise Morphogene Eurorack sampler. We are a big user of analog and Eurorack synthesizers. And the cool thing about the Morphogene is it allows you to do time shifting and time warping. So we actually tend to use our sampler to sample our own music. So we took a sample from a Teenage Engineering OPZ, which is this little micro synth right here, which is the size of a TV remote. And you can see it's a very interesting synthesizer. It's a true bedroom synth. You know, when I'm not using my big Euro racks and stuff, I can go and I can work out drum tracks. I can work out bass lines and put them together on here and then bring them into my bigger studio through my MX1 Performance mixer from Roland. And what's cool about this, it could actually take in like an eighth of an inch line. And you take that line and you bring it right into the MX1, which actually accepts from Roland an eighth of an inch input, along with USB inputs and quarter-inch line inputs. So I can take an idea. It also was able to take that line and direct it through a CV connection through this little interface right here into my Morphogene mixer sampler. So this song that we wrote on our playlist called Mood, Couture, and Other Memes, I'm Already Past Me, is interesting because we used the kind of time warping and more, alteration capability of taking that sample and really getting weird kind of found sounds. It's kind of like granular synthesis. The Morphogene sampler takes your sample and splits it into splices and genes. And genes are smaller parts of splices. And then you can morph those genes. You can change the gene size. You can change the splice size. You can morph them in parts. So you could take, like, if you think about a piece of music and you got A to B, or A to Z, you can kind of cross over. So you could have part A cross, and on that axis where it crosses, it gets all discombobulated and it changes the nature of the tune. And you can, change it to be high level frequency, low level frequency, and you can turn it into a clip. So we basically created a weird sonic clip with our OPZ. And then we created a drum beat on our Arturia BeatStep Pro using a 909 drum machine within the Roland JDXI hybrid analog digital synthesizer. And we controlled that beat with our BeatStep Pro, which allows us to extend to more than 4 beats or 4 parts, that drum part. Then we recorded it all into a Zoom R24, and we did a Moog bass line. And alternatively, we also do a JDXI bass line. At the end of the song, we do like a 505, or I forget which one. We did a Juno bass line, and it was interesting. We bring it into the song, and now I name checked it, but now I forgot the name. I get old. But what's cool about this song is we also did something different with our VT4 vocal transformer. We changed the kind of mix between my natural voice and the Josephine soprano voice, which is my voice pitched to the soprano, creates Josephine electric. There's some other things we do on the actual VT4. We fool around with some vocal profiles to some of the effects that are on board. We also ran it through a bit crush on our MX1 performance mixer. We have a studio electronics microphone with a shield. So we did all these things to kind of change the nature of my Josephine character. And we thought it was very, we're always trying to get her to sound voluptuous. She's supposed to be, she's a ghost. She's a woman that passed away, but then she didn't make it all the way to the next life. She's kind of stuck between here and there. And the whole idea of Phantom Like a Ghost, my band, it's kind of like the Gorillas, when they have all these characters. Josephine's the lead singer. Her sister, Stephanie, is a backup singer. Phantom is the producer, keyboardist. And then they have Blob the robot is the living embodiment of the DAW. He's running like everything as like a recording engineer. So it's just a whole fanciful bunch of characters that we created. And I'm actually, when I play, it's just me in my stage get up. That makes it hard to tell if I'm a male or female because I'm usually wearing a Phantom mask. So I haven't really dropped shit. But so this is typically what people see. Josephine, in order to kind of have the mystery, so you don't see me with my beard singing with my Josephine voice, I tend to use this mask. This mask is an LED mask. It's wired, and we use it with our stage get up. And we also have an LED hoodie that we use. And we have LED shoes, and we used to have LED gloves until somebody at a gig in New York stole them. Shame on them. When I was at Blackthorn 51. So this idea, Josephine's singing, you can't tell if I'm a male or female, and it's the kind of mystery, the whole idea of, the Ziggy Stardust kind of thing or the Camille thing with Prince. That's kind of what we've always done. Now we're actually going to play the song, I'm Already Past Me. So we're going to cue that up. You can see it already. We're getting ready to make it a little bigger so you can see that's the YouTube screen. We're ready to play, and now we're going to play this song.
Say, I'm in a situation where, hey, you're way over your head. I said, how could that be? How could I play? Don't you see? I'm
Well,
already past me. I'm already dead. Don't you see? And they say I'm in a situation that red going down all over the nation. They said, yeah, some of what I want to hear. They said,
so it looks like we're having some kind of signal trouble. We're going to try to re-cue this, so hold on.
You know, my darling, wait, listen.
So we're having a little cue problem. We're having an internet problem. We're going to try running that again. So hold a second. We're going to unmute it. And then we're going to try to play again the song, I'm Already Past Me. Hopefully, I think my daughter's doing an interview on the net. It might be messing up my bandwidth. In this COVID time, you can't always get the bandwidth you need. So we're going to try to cue this again. And we'll see if that works out. Here we go.
Say, I'm in a situation where, hey, you're way over your head. I said, how could that be? could I play? Don't you see? I'm already past me. I'm already dead. Don't you see? And they say I'm in a situation that red going down all over the nation. They said, yeah, son, what I want here. They said, darling, pump is static, always on here. Don't you know, my darling, darling dear, when the way is listening clear, be a purveyor of fear. When the wind isn't really clear, there's gonna be a lot of purveyors of fear. We're in a situation where darling, don't worry, now I'm already dead. Now we're in a situation where, darling and dear, you know there are always purveyors of fear. Don't you know that, dear? Don't you know that, dear? Are you a purveyor of fear? It's so clear, and it's always near, like Morrison said. Oh, you're a purveyor, or you're already dead. If we're in a situation where, no, don't you worry, darling, Josie's already dead. And you're a purveyor of fear, and we made that clear. We're putting down those no more than you, my dear. You're just a purveyor of the doom. You're like a flower that blooms at midnight in tune. You're with sexuality headroom. All consumed. You're like that flower that blooms at midnight in a tune. Yeah, it's clear. You conditionally red, my dear. Don't you be red, dude. Don't you be a purveyor of fear. It's clear that we shouldn't really be here. But you let that orange man put us right here, my dear. It's clear that we really shouldn't be here. You let that orange man take the reins, and now you're dead, my dear. Now, don't you know about that dear? Don't you know that he's the epitome of fear? You let the orange man take the reins, and that's why we're all here. Take the reins, that's why we're all here. That one sex base, it's just like sex, my dear. That 106 base, just like sex, my dear. If you put it in, then you got something to be.
We're back. We're back on, and this is Family Like the Ghost from our home studio, and that was the song, and we're on Twitch streaming live today. That was the song Already Past Me. Again, it was interesting with this song. It was the use of a sample from, again, an OPZ synth from Teenage Engineering. You can see this little synth is about the size of a TV remote. Very cool. It's got these endless encoders. You can sample with this like an OP1, except it has a 16-step, 16-track sequencer. You can do bass lines. You can create samples with the mic on it. You can do samples on the USB. I'm not working for Teenage Engineering, but I like to work out ideas as a producer on this thing. When I'm just sitting around, like headphones on, and work something out, and then bring it into my larger rig, and then complete the thought with my Moogs and my Rolands and stuff. And in this particular song, I actually took something from the OPZ, a project. I brought it into my Morphogene sampler from Make Noise, which is a really powerful sampler. It plays with time and allows you to, do clip, or what they call, it's called splices and genes. And then you can morph. And like I said before, you can take a sample and then you can cross. So you can take the beginning of the sample and the end of the sample and cross over. When you cross over, you get a merging of that sound. And you can pitch it up, you can pitch it down, you can kind of reverse it, you can, slow it down, you can do all kinds of interesting modulation because it's a Eurorack sampler. So then suddenly the control over the genes can be controlled by CV, voltage controlled. And so then you can have a Moog LFO driving the organization of the splices. You could have a random voltage generator changing the tempo of the sample. You could have, an oscillator driving some aspect of the sample, like either the gene size or the splice size or the level of morphing that happens. And so it gives you all kinds of interesting stuff. And you could have it even bounce between the samples on the reel because it has this concept of like tape reels. So there's these virtual tape reels that have multiple splices and genes. And so we took this one tape reel that was a sample of an OPZ project that had the bass, drum, keyboard, some effects, and muted and unmuted drum set tracks as like scenes. And we kind of mainly went through the scene control, muting and unmuting the drum set, and also adding an arpeggiator, adding bass line, all kinds of toms and pads, whatever. We did that. We sampled it. We actually using that sample on the last three songs, different levels of the sample, and changing it so it actually becomes unrecognizable. This sample was used previously on a Ghost song 2 days ago, and in this song, it sounds like free jazz because that's what it is. We use it to sound like a sax. We're very much into Coltrane and Davis and monk music and free jazz fusion. And we were playing with the sample on the Morphogene, and we like to kind of continuously record and then fiddle with all the controls. And we were able to get like this kind of crazy sax, like a Coltrane run or a Davis fusion run from like Bitches Brew, and get this really high, like, alto sax tone. It was very high. And then have it very distorted and discordant. And we like that. And we were able to get it on a clip loop within the sampler, being controlled by control voltage. And we kind of manually brought it in, and then they had this point where it brought in all this white noise. Now maybe we're somewhat inelegant with the white noise. We try to get it to be more musical. We kind of just let it be what it is. This is actually the first attempt at this song. We liked the feel of it. It had a really cool feel. So we kind of let it lay where it laid. The other thing, again, we play with our VT4 vocal transformer, which it gives my Josephine electric voice character a full polyphonic treatment on the vocoder. And Roland actually calls it a vocal transformer because the way we use it to create a character. So Josephine Electric's character is really fully developed with this particular little device. It's a small little device called a VT4. We'll go get it. So the VT4, one of the benefits of the VT4 compared to the VT3 is it's battery powered. We do 4 AA batteries on the back, It's got pretty good interface. It's got to, be able to get a full, uh, you know, what is it? Your mic, you can bring in like a typical mic input. And then you've got, two TRS lines on the far end of this thing. You've got MIDI, and then you've got a USB, and then you just got the power button. The cool thing about this vocoder versus the VT3 is it's polyphonic. You can put it onto a keyboard like a Juno and do full chords, vocoding with the chords. So that then you have a chord you can actually voice out. You can play the chord and then do your voice, and then you can pitch bend it with your pitch bend wheel and do all kinds of interesting stuff. What we like doing with this thing is playing with the pitch and the format. You can figure out where my finger is. But if you look at the way this thing is, yeah, you have a pitch and a format, and then you've got some of the other controls here that are pretty interesting. If you get the big picture of it, you've got, a vocoder button, you got a robot button, you got a megaphone button, and you got all these variations. You got 4 variations on all the effects with these, variation buttons that you see here. And then you got the sliders for the balance. And we were playing with the balance on Josephine's voice. And we found this really kind of sweet spot where she's very voluptuous, very feminine in the particular settings we have now. And then you can actually save this setting and actually save it off and be able to recall it, which is pretty cool. So that is how we did this song. So this episode primarily, again, was about the construction of the song I'm Already Past Me. We played the YouTube video. And again, if you see on the bottom, we interview indie artists from around the world. And we also are an indie artist ourselves. We have a PayPal Me link that if you're into, supporting bands, we're putting that up right now. So if you want to support us, check out our PayPal Me link on the bottom, if you can see it. If you just go to, you see it coming by, https www.paypal.me/FamElectric, and you can get to us, and you can donate whatever you want, and it would help us out, because we do interview indie artists from around the world, and we're getting ready to see if we can do an arrangement with a new collective out of the Seattle area. We're going to be talking to them later. And we're always looking to expand our capabilities. We do influence marketing. We do collabs. We do interviews with bands from around the world. And this is our new video platform on StreamYard where we do stuff. And then we can send this out to Twitch, and we can send out to Facebook. This is our first Twitch performance or show. So thank you for being on the show again. If you like us, check it out. Become a supporter of the program. You can see us on Anchor FM as well. And Phantom Electric Ghost Music is on all streaming services. You can find us. One of our latest singles is right here. Coming by, you'll see the link for Something Wicked, the title track from our old 2016 album. That track has been re-released. It's out there. You can see the found.ee link. It's on Spotify. It's on all streaming services. We'd appreciate it if you actually go to Amazon or iTunes and actually buy it there. We actually get more money if you do that. And also you can stream it on YouTube Music. So check out Phantom Electric Ghost. This is actually what we're wearing. Is we had a relationship on our album with All Control K, where Chernobello.com, he's a graphic artist. At the time he was in, I think he was in Greece or Germany. I think maybe he was in Berlin. He was going to go to Greece. I always get it backwards, but he designed the cover for To Infinitum. He did the artwork. We did an interpretation of All Control K and Phantom Electric Ghost, and this is the artwork he did. He did this T-shirt for us. We really appreciate it. You got to go check out Chernobello.com on Instagram, and or even go at Chernobello on Instagram. Check it out. In his website, he does really cool art. He does stuff for bands, like he did our cover. And we're just giving him back the plug. If you like this art, he does really good art. He does cool T-shirts. He designed some cool stuff for us. He designed like a Phantom face mask that we use in some of our video art and some of the work we did for that To Infinitum album with All Control K, which is also on all the streaming services. If you want to check it out, it was like a techno fusion between expansive sound and an EDM kind of trance experimental electronic musician that All Control K is, and she's on BIGO, so you can see her doing her stuff on there. She does some, I think she does a lot of VR stuff, so you can check that out. And we'll see you again soon. We'll be doing some more podcasts this week, I think on Thursday and Friday. We'll talk to you later.